Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Stan Boney.
And I'm Erica Thomas. There was a detailed and frank discussion in Greenville tonight about the status of a 200-foot section of Main Street. It's been closed for 2 months.
I was at the meeting, and the most significant things that came out of it were that the building which caused the road's closing is in worse shape than many people thought, and there's no plan in place to fix it. The meeting room of Greenville Borough Council was standing room only as the Director of Public Services, Lyle Huffman, explained how structural issues of the former NN Moss building forced the closing of a section of Main Street.
The building's coming down. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when.
To prove his point, Huffman was joined by Gary Scott, an engineer at the Pittsburgh firm of Bookart Horn. Together, they examined the Moss building a week ago. Scott pointed to cracks in the exterior. Pictures were shown of the main support beam, how it's cracked and has fallen 6 feet, how the east wall is totally detached from the building and is bowing and crumbling, and how a hole in the interior ceiling is so big daylight shines through. Scott circulated a report stating the Moss building is, quote, in imminent threat of significant partial or total failure.
Does it pose significant risk to pedestrians or vehicles being in either of those streets? Yes. In our recommendation, the quickest way to address it is take the building down.
The audience, some of whom were Main Street business owners, could only sit and listen, many seeming unaware of the deplorable and dangerous state of the Moss building.
Main Street's been closed for 64 days. How come it's taken so long to get a third opinion? I mean, we're dying.
I want to know what hope myself and the rest of the business owners have in Greenville going forward. What's the time frame? What are we planning to do at this point?
To that question, Greenville Solicitor Jim Douglas could only say there is no plan in place. Borough officials have been working with David Ho, who manages the building for his relatives. But since it's privately owned and without any money, the borough is powerless to have it torn down. Ho was not at tonight's meeting, but at a rally yesterday, he told me he does plan to have it demolished.
My hope is before the end of the year is out, this building should be down.
Well, the courthouse and magistrate's office is also located near the Moss building, and though it remains open for now, engineer Greg Scott did not rule out possibly having to expand the area that's closed in the future.
Obviously, the borough's saying that it doesn't have anything it can do. Has it gone to the state for help?
They've asked pretty much everybody, and everybody's door that they've knocked on said, we don't have any money. Pennsylvania right now doesn't even have a budget.
Right.
I mean, it's really hard to get money through the state. They say they're trying to work through private people, private funds, but the building is privately owned. There's not a lot the government can do. Somebody mentioned bringing it in through eminent domain. And that's hard to do. You just hard just to do for public safety. You want to build a road or something, you can get it done. It's tough on this one.
Now it's one day at a time.
Oh, yeah, there's no plan in
Yeah.
place. It's going to be closed tomorrow, too.
All right. Thanks, Dan.